in Vegas. Jimmy Johnson, Kurt Busch, and Tony Stewart join us live. We'll relive Jeff Gordon's historic win in Phoenix, plus Rutledge and Brad Keselowski have some fun in Sin City. Don't miss NASCAR Race Day from Vegas, Sunday, 12:30 Eastern, live on Speed. Well, in this era of NASCAR Sprint Cup racing, it seems like the younger the drivers are, the better. 18, 19, 20-year-old Trevor Bayne won the Daytona 500. But going back a ways, there was a guy named Harry Gant. He didn't run his first Sprint Cup Series race till he was 39.
Harry Gant, minus the right rear fender, faced adversity successfully and has taken the 7-11 Skull Bandit home.
Harry Gant is a driver of many talents and many names. Handsome Harry, the Bandit, Mr. September.
As you can say, look at that old Bandit run, because car 33, the Skull Bandit, he's waiting and watching for the checkers.
Gant was best known behind the wheel of the number 33 Skull Bandit car, co-owned by Burt Reynolds and director Hal Needham. Gant ran his first full NASCAR season in 1979, and at age 39 was gunning for the Rookie of the Year award. He was runner-up 10 times before finally winning his first Cup race on April 25, 1982, at age 42.
Harry Gant comes out of turn 4 and takes the checkered flag to win his first Winston Cup Grand National stock car victory in over 100 starts.
Yeah, I thought we had a chance to win it from the word go here. It's been over a year since I even won a race of any kind, you know, and it's a tickle to death to see that checkered flag fall today and count them laps down.
Harry Gant heads up to turn number 3 on his way to 4 in a row, almost unprecedented in this modern era of racing.
Handsome Harry became Happy Harry after winning 4 consecutive Cup races in September of 1991 at Darlington,
Harry Gant takes the checkered flag here in the High Southern 500.
Richmond, Dover, and Martinsville.
Here he comes down the line, and Harry Gant will win the Goodies 500.
Well, it's 4 in a row, actually 6 NASCAR races in a row, and nobody in the modern era has done that, I know.
But the 33 wasn't done just yet. On August 16, 1992 at Michigan, Harry Gant went from 24th to 1st and took checkers for the final time.
He sees the checkered flag from Doyle Ford waiting, and there it is. Gant wins.
Can you believe it, folks? He's 52 years old. He looks like he's 32. Harry Gant at Victory Lane at Michigan.
And at 52 years, 219 days, Harry Gant still holds the record as the oldest driver ever to win a NASCAR Cup race.
And guess what? He still looks like he's 32. Welcome Harry Gant to Trackside.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
He really, you haven't, you haven't changed a bit. I mean, do you think, in your mind, you could go out and compete today at your age?
Absolutely.
That's what I wanted to hear. I don't know why I don't know why you retired. I mean, you think about it, you ran your first race, you're 39 years old. You quit when you were 52. That's a pretty short career. Why did you quit?
Well, if it had gotten modernized as much, you know, with the motorhomes and all that, it was just being gone, always being gone from home. And, you know, the motels, you could get up at 4 o'clock and try to get to the racetrack. And thought I'd just go back to a simpler way of life.
He likes a simple way of life. He's a simple man.
But Harry, I think a lot of people, you know, we didn't get a chance to see really where you came from as far as around the Hickory area. Because I remember the first time I ever watched you race, you were driving that number 77 orange Montclair furniture car, and everybody was talking about you then. To watch this guy and what he's able to do on these short tracks. Everybody recognized your talent, but you kind of like you just stayed around the Carolinas and Virginia and Tennessee, you know, racing.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, I built houses for a living. I raced for a hobby. I'd go out to Nashville, race with Darrell and Metalina, Hickory, Kingsport, all around, and you know, just had a lot of fun. Won a lot of races.
Harry, you grew up in Taylorsville, North Carolina, where you live now, and you showed me back in October you have a little shop out beside your house, and you said that you guys would literally come home from racing all night and work in that shop, and next thing you know, you fall asleep underneath that race car on the creeper.
Wake up the next morning. I always had a shop, and it's only 1,500 square feet, and we had one car, and I built houses. The two boys that helped me was an upholstery and furniture business, and we ran 92 races one year, and we always ran 80, 85, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday, and worked every day. And with one car, no problem, and won a lot of races.
Yeah, he did win a lot of races. I'll vouch for that. Some of them in Nashville.
Nashville was our Daytona of racing. We got to go to Nashville every year out there. It's the big races, and we enjoyed the big track. That's a bigger track than we had at that time.
Hey, a lot more with Harry Gant. Right now, we're going to go back to Speed Center in Charlotte, North Carolina, and find out what AA Adam Alexander's up to. Adam?
All right, thank you, Steve. Much more coming from Trackside in a moment. Let's roll with Speed Center. Monster Energy Supercross champs James Stewart and Chad Reed had another run-in last week in Atlanta. They will have to sort out their differences on the biggest stage. Round 9 in Daytona tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern on Speed. World of Outlaw Sprints did not disappoint last night in Vegas. Steve Kinzer off to a great start in 2011, and he survives again. The King has now won 4 races already this season. The IZOD IndyCar Series announced the rules for its twin 275 races at Texas Motor Speedway June 9th. The 2 races are almost identical. Half the points will be awarded for each race, but race 2 starting positions will be determined by a blind draw. In other IndyCar news, Firestone announced today it will pull out as the series' sole tire supplier at the end of 2011. Robin Miller joins me on Speed Center for more. That's coming up next. After a break, you're going back to Las Vegas and more Trackside.
Is presented by Walmart, just north of the famous Strip in Las Vegas. You see the lights twinkling. Glitter Gulch, they call this place. It is a long way from Taylorsville, North Carolina, the home to handsome Harry Gant. There you see some shots of, he talked about his shop where he built race cars. Now he's got trophies, checkered flags, a couple of cool cars, and Harry Gant keeps plenty busy these days working on the property, don't you, Harry?
Yeah, I work every day, a lot to do, and I just go get it done. That's my motto, get it done.
Get it done.
Hey, Harry, you told me that we were there in Leighton Fall that the only help you had was your grandson, and you'd lost him to the high school football team.
Yeah, and then he's graduating now. Then his brother comes in, he's graduating this year, but they don't want to work on the farm no more, so it's kind of just a one-man operation now.
Harry, a couple of things come to mind. That when you won those 4 in a row, I'll never forget that Martinsville race. You got in a wreck and knocked the whole front end off the car, really. And I'll never forget the guys on TV saying, well, you can count Harry Gant out today. He ain't not going to win this one. And I don't remember. I think he came from like 3 laps down to win that thing and continue that 4 in a row. But in 1985, I just want to get your recollection of the IROC. You won the IROC championship. What do you remember about that?
I remember that he's trying to take it away from me.
Not Darryl.
No. Listen, this is funny. All I had to do was beat Cale. If I beat Cale Yarborough, I'd win the IROC championship. So I'm racing Cale, and just a few laps ago, I passed Cale and I finished 2nd or 3rd. And mathematically, I had never considered even that Harry had a chance of winning it. The only way Harry could win it was he had to win the race, lead the most laps, and I had to finish like whatever it was, 2nd or 3rd, and he wouldn't win it, we would tie. I never figured it out that far. So when the race ends, they wave me in. They say, go to Victory Circle, you won the championship. I'm just about there. About that time, they flag me off and say, we got a problem. You and Harry tied. I said, well, so what? I still win. They said, oh, no. No, the guy that finishes the highest in the last race wins, and he won the race.
They told me, we tied, Ned Jarrett said, I think you might have won this whole show. I said, you reckon? He said, yes. I'm not sure. I said, well, if they give me that trophy, I'm not going to give it back to anybody.
Hey, now that's something that Darryl and you both have got in common. I think you won the Snowball Derby, and they're still looking for that trophy.
I still got that trophy.
Harry, you were talking about racing while you were building houses, and you told me back in October that you had gotten to a point where you had to make a decision. Am I going to build houses or am I going to race? Talk about how you made that decision.
Well, I decided I didn't want to really go racing for a living, and the housing building was getting a little slow at this particular time, and it was in February, and we had 2 cars loaded up to go to Daytona, the Firebird and the Nova, to run the modified and the other race. And my brother had come back out of the Army, and we were together then. And I said, I may go down there, and I'll come back, I'll let you know. And we go there and win the modified race and finish second. Darryl run that race that day.
Yeah.
And finished second in the other race. So I got back home, and I said, I'm going to try 1 year. You know, if I can't do it good, I'm going to go back to building houses. Well, we go down and win Charlotte with the modified. And so we win 35 races that year, and everything worked okay, so I just kept racing.
Well, speaking of you raced modifieds. You know, we know you raced the Busch Grand National Series at that time and Cup, but you also have run some in the Truck Series, and it was one of your last races. You were driving a truck.
Yeah, it was. I was helping people get a sponsor, and I was down in Orlando doing a deal with the Mannheim at the auction, and they some people walked up and wanted to sponsor something in racing. So I was telling them about it. So they said they'd like to do a truck, and I told them a truck would be good to start from. And they said, who's going to drive it? And I said, I know a friend of mine's got a truck, and if I drive it, they would do it there. So I ended up driving it. I didn't run many races with it. Nashville was our best run.
So you were leading till you got a little help and got kind of turned around a little bit.
I think it was Mike Skinner maybe got into him, but Harry was going to win that race.
Yeah, it was pretty easy going to win that day.
Yeah, he had a fast truck, and he was going to win that race. A lot of those races. You know, one thing a lot of things I learned from Harry Gant. People, you know, we'll talk about every now and then, Ham and I will, car turkey walking up the track. First time I ever heard anybody say that was Harry. And then he said that his carburetor was always, I don't know what's wrong with this car, won't run a lick. Old carburetor's messed up, and he'd be lapping the field. And he'd say, I'd say, well, what's wrong with it, Harry? And he'd say, it's duping. I'd say, what? And, I mean, I can't tell you how many of those kind of silly, funny things that I used to pick up from him all the time.
Well, got up again him.
Oh, yeah. Him and Ed Whitaker from over there in Bristol, I mean, they were a pair together. And the old car never ran right. Always ran like something always wrong with it, but he was lapping the field.
Yeah, that old legal, illegal carburetor you used to have.
Yeah.
Hey, more with Harry Gant coming up. Not sure who has what it takes to take the checker flag on Sunday. We'll check out the Sunoco Performance Picks during NASCAR race day on Sunday, where the race day team gives you their choice on who has the inside track to victory lane. Go to speedfantasyracing.com to see all of their picks and play the premier fantasy game all year long.
With enough talent and dedication, any of these race cars can take a NASCAR home tracks driver wherever they want to go.
Welcome to Bristol Motor Speedway. The Bristol move.
How come I get run over here?
He's got it. Oh, the contact.
That's Brad Keselowski. Forget it, man. You play that game, I'll play it back.
That right there is a payback, folks. That's Bristol racing.
Kyle Busch is it.
This is one of the biggest wins of my career. It's Bristol, baby.
There's racing, and then there's Bristol. 2011 tickets are on sale now.
Springtime belongs to the doers. Those of us who know grass doesn't turn green just because the calendar says to. And that a big difference can grow from a small budget. For those of us with grass on our sneakers, dirt on our jeans, and a lawn that's as healthy as our savings, the days are about to get a whole lot greener. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. We're lowering the cost of crowd control on those weeds with this Ryobi trimmer, just $89.
You ready? Yeah. Ready.
It's way more than just another hot, cheesy, meaty snack. It's a tornado. Tornadoes, a whirlwind of in-your-face flavor, all rolled into a crispy, seasoned crust that blows every other snack away.
You're welcome. That was awesome!
Tornadoes, full force flavor, full force fun.
Trackside is presented by Walmart, back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, third race of this 2011 season. appreciate Kurt Busch stopping by, now hanging out with Harry Gant. Harry, you told me a great story I'd never known, that you kind of got interested in racing by going to the Southern 500.
Yeah, at Darlington, South Carolina, 1955. I went down with my dad, and they were lined up 3 wide, blowing them tires. Everybody looked, boom, boom, and over the fence they'd go, the guardrails. But I was 15 years old and went down there, and I said, man, that'd just be great to sit on the pole down here in Darlington. And went every year till I started racing. In 57, I think Fireball sat on the pole, and it had a good ring to it. So then eventually I sat on the pole, and that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I had a Southern 500 one year and had a little problem late in the race, and I believe you ended up winning it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Southern 500. You know, Harry, I saw the cows you have on your farm, and of course you have that restaurant over there in Taylorsville. You still have your steakhouse?
No,
What happened?
Well, some people there in Taylor wanted to buy it, and my wife wanted to sell it, so that made a good partnership there, and so we sold it to them there.
So it made your wife happy?
Made her real happy.
She didn't have to work in the kitchen anymore.
she didn't work there, but she didn't want to be fooled with it anymore.
Like that gal in Talladega Nights. I'm a driver's wife. I don't have to.
we had a lot of fun with it, though, especially when it's racing North Wilkesboro.
Oh, yeah.
We really had a lot of fun the years we had it there. I really enjoyed it.
Harry, you raced when you started driving that 33 car. I mean, it was quite a cast of characters. Hal Needham, he had done Smokey and the Bandit, and of course Burt Reynolds, and then you had even the characters that you worked with at U.S. Tobacco, Johnny Hayes and Johnny Bruce. There was quite a group. Brian Buckhauer's a bunch of them that used to go week to week.
Yeah, we had U.S. Tobacco wanted it to be a family deal, and that's the way it was the whole years we raced there. They'd have all these big deals, we'd go to in up Connecticut and down in Miami, and it's the days that you can't never get back, such much fun as we had doing that.
What was it like hanging out with, Hal Needham and Burt Reynolds and that crowd? I mean, did you hang out with them a lot?
I got to go to making movies, and sometimes he'd put you in some, but I got to go to a lot of them and had dinner with Burt and Dean Martin and them people was in the movies, all the time, and he let me go about every time he was doing a movie.
Did he ever want you to be the star in one?
No, But I tell a lot of people that is really hard work. That is harder than racing, I think. It got to be. It's from daybreak to daylight to dark. I mean, till the sun goes up and goes down. That's how long they shoot, and then they go look at film, and it's midnight and 1 o'clock, and you got to be on set at 4 the next day, and you might be in the middle of Tucson in the desert, or New York up there in the snow. So it's a hard life.
Yeah, but Harry, they wouldn't want to fix fences with you in the middle of August in Taylorsville.
Or take care of 400 gals.
That's it. Hey, more Trackside presented by Walmart. Glad you're with us here from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Stay with us.
Trackside is presented by Walmart. Save money, live better. Brought to you in high definition by Funai. Funai, fun and innovative. Experience more at FunaiAmerica.com. And by ToyotaRacing.com Sponsifier 3. Sponsifier is back, and this year the winner gets a visit from their favorite driver. Enter at ToyotaRacing.com.
Wednesday, on the new hit reality series Car Warriors, the pressure to win turns friend into foe.
You're so full of your eyes are brown.
Car Warriors, Wednesday, 9 Eastern on Speed.
Kyle Busch! Let's do this! Let's do this!
That's how you do a donut.
Come to the conference room.
Okay.
What would you do with your favorite driver? Enter your design at ToyotaRacing.com.
This spring, get more mileage out of your travel plans with $50 in free gas. Stay 2 separate times at Comfort Inn or any of these choice hotels, and you can earn a free $50 gas card. Book now only at choicehotels.com.
In today's cars, there's self-adjusting cylinders, self-deploying spoilers. Why not a self-cleaning engine? Next generation Pennzoil motor oil cleans out up to 40% of sludge. So turn your engine into a self-cleaning engine and feel the clean.
This guy is Donnie Holt.
Attention Medicare recipients. The following is important news from Hoverround. With Medicare and your supplemental insurance, a powered chair costs you little or nothing out of pocket. That's true for most powered chairs. But when you choose Hoverround, you get a better powered chair. How is it better? Just ask these questions. Is it round? Hoverround is the only round powered chair. That makes it easier for you to get around the tight spaces in your home.
I love how easy it is to maneuver.
Is it reliable? At Hoverround, we make your chair, deliver your chair for free, and service your chair right in your home. No one else can say all that. Last question. Is it affordable? Here's what most Hoverround customers pay.
Zero. I paid nothing for the unit at all.
Call Hoverround today and you'll receive a free phone mobility consultation, a free DVD information kit, and free delivery to your home.
Second to mention, we lost a member of our family, Jacob Irvin, died in a car accident this week, and he's part of the J. Howard Entertainment Group, the JHE, the men and women that bring our stage each week. And we just want to say that we'll remember you always, Jacob, and our thoughts to your families. So just wanted to pass that along. And Trackside will be back in Bristol, Tennessee on March 18th. Kyle Busch is going to join us. He's had a few interesting races there at Bristol Motor Speedway. That's at 7 o'clock Eastern on Friday, March 18th. Back with Harry Gant, Darrell Waltrip, and Jeff Hammond.
You know, Harry, when you retired, someone told me that you actually had considered going into television, doing a little announcing. I'd never heard that before. Did you try out, or did you ever do any? Or any?
Well, I was approached, but I said no. I don't. I was at the racetrack. I just want to be steering a car, instead of doing the commentating.
Yeah. What do you think? Could you? I mean, I could do it. You probably could have.
No, I couldn't do it. No, absolutely, I couldn't do it.
Are you two guys going to start fussing and fighting again?
Oh no!
Hey,
I never argued with Harry.
I'm going to say you seem always like a very easygoing kind of guy. Have you got a temper?
No.
Huh?
No.
Now, come on now, Harry. Huh? You ever got out of the car and wanted to go talk to somebody and kind of put a finger in their chest?
Never, never, never.
Don't
let give me a lie.
Don't let him kid you. He's strong as an ox. Let me
I
tell
know
you.
he is.
I can tell you a deal with Darrell, if he remembers it. I lost a car in Nashville, and so Darrell, he called me and going to run Martinsville, the late model, which is the Bush League reason. Run his car, number 17.
Yeah, it's a late model.
Nova. Yeah. And so I've been going to Martinsville since 67, 68, never could win that race. And so I go up there, and Darrell, he was a good dresser back in them days, and so he's sitting there with that car jacked up, putting a clutch together with his black polyester britches sitting on the ground, putting his clutch together in his car. I said, man, I can't believe Darrell was driving the Winston Cup cars too. So anyway, I got there, and we're leading the race. I said, I'm going to win a race in a borrowed car as long as I've been trying to come here. But we locked a little bit then. We got a wreck or something.
Yeah, Jimmy Hensley spun us out with 2 to go. 2 to go. Gentleman Jim, he spun us out.
He was getting back to Harry.
Hey, Darrell, do you still have those pants?
I do.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Hey.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, hey, you put that down.
Listen,
put it down.
I'm just going to borrow it for the night.
We're going to go to war.
This is much heavier than I thought. Ow, this isn't wrestling. Someone get Hammond.
Get out of here. Put that down. Put it down. Thief.
Oh, no.
Thief. I'm going to hit you upside the head. I'm going to hit you upside the head.
Harry, how about you, Harley? You still ride there?
All the time, yeah.
Attaboy.
We fixing to do the Kyle Petty ride again here.
Harry, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it, man. Great to catch up.
Thanks for being on the show. Yeah.
Thanks for watching Trackside, presented by Walmart.
And we are glad you're with us on the Speed Center. I'm Adam Alexander. In the next half hour, we go all over the motorsports world. We start with Vegas and talk about what's happening in NASCAR. First, though, our top stories. Big news in IndyCar. Firestone has announced following 2011, they will no longer supply tires to the series. We hear from Robin Miller in a few. NASCAR, not the only thing turning laps in Vegas this week. The World of Outlaws sprint cars made the trip west. Could the 50-something crowd win again? And the long break is over for Rolex sports car teams. They are back on track for the first time since the marathon at Daytona. We preview round 2 from Miami coming up. First, though, the Sprint Cup Series out west. And for Jeff Gordon, it is over. Driver 24 raced his 66-race winless streak last week at Phoenix. Now it's time for old four-time to try and start a win streak. His quest began this afternoon in Vegas. Practice, Gordon on the track, and look what happens. He goes around, just like Bain did last week at Phoenix after winning the 500. Gordon would get back on track despite some damage. He was 18th in the session. Matt Kenseth went out late. He was fastest of them all, 0.3 of a second off the track record. He won at Vegas 2 times. Here's his teammate David Regan. Not much to shout about early in the season for him. He was second quick in practice today. Juan Pablo Montoya, the lone Chevrolet, inside the top 5, was 3rd. So we look now at what happened in practice, and the Fords dominated. The Roush Fenway organization, 4 of the top 5. Marcus Ambrose right behind, and Regan Smith impressive in 8th. So now we go to qualifying from today. Jimmy Johnson has won 4 of the last 6 races in Vegas. He was fast. 14th is where he will start on Sunday. And then there's Marcus Ambrose. He started on the front row before, and boy, was he fast today. He went out right before Carl Edwards. Ambrose was on the pole. Edwards trying to knock him off, and he cannot do it. Edwards disappointed. Watch what he does. He rolls up on Ambrose, who's doing an interview, and he bumps him. Yes, they were playing around. Then there's David Regan. We told you he was second quick in practice. He needs some good luck. He goes out, turns the car around. 42nd is where he will start on Sunday. That's disappointing. A long ride back to the garage for him. Then there's Matt Kenseth. We told you he was the best in practice. Guess what? He backed it up in qualifying. Who do you think when you set a new track record? Your engine builder, Doug Yates. For Kenseth, it is his 5th career pole.
Being fast in practice, we knew that our car was fast and could be a contender if we made the right adjustments and I could get around the track without messing a lap up. So we got a good solid lap, and the car had plenty of speed in it. I took it easy in 3 and got in there real nice and slow and got through there kind of conservatively, but I could feel it had the speed in it. So I thought it would be close.
So the new track record for Kenseth, 188.88 miles per hour. Ambrose, Edwards, Biffle, and Kyle Busch inside the top 5. And A.J. Allmendinger looked good in the 7th position. Other notables today from Las Vegas. Jeff Gordon qualifying outside the top 10. He will start in the 13th position on Sunday. And then you take a look at Jimmy Johnson, 14th. And what about Kurt Busch? He had never started outside the top 10 at Vegas. He will on Sunday from the 22nd position. Time now to head back out to Las Vegas. We welcome in Krista Voda, who's been in the garage all day long. Krista, you're in Vegas. Are you up or are you down at this stage of the weekend?
Well, here's the good news. I am completely even, and that's because I have not gambled a dime, and that's the only way to stay up in Vegas, is just don't gamble.
All right, so now let's go to action on track. And I'll tell you what, Jeff Gordon spun today in practice, but let's forget about that and go back to last week at Phoenix. His first win in nearly 2 years. He had to be walking tall in the garage today.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, this was an emotional win. Obviously, we saw it last week in victory lane for him. It had been so long. And as a driver, you always wonder, when is the next one? Will the next one come? So there was a huge weight off his shoulders, obviously working with a new group with Alan Gustafson. But, you know, you mentioned the spin. It's funny because Trevor Bayne wins the Daytona 500 and then spins in practice at Phoenix. Jeff Gordon wins the race at Phoenix and then spins in practice at Vegas. So I guess if you win, you then spin. But trust me, they'll take it.
I could not help but remember that exact same thing myself. I want to talk about Ford. Tough start to 2010, got better and better late in the year. Good start in 2011, and they were magnificent in qualifying today.
Oh my gosh, this is what everyone was talking about. I mean, talking to Clint Boyer before qualifying, we were actually joking that he was disgusted with how good the Fords were, but he said it all comes down to getting through the bumps on this track. We've heard it all day long. The bumps on the track, especially in 1 and 2, are pretty treacherous. So the teams that can get through the bumps without losing the speed are the ones who are going to do the best. And right now, that has been the Fords, the Roush Fenway Fords, and count the Richard Petty Fords in there as well. Marcus Ambrose and A.J. Allmendinger, they have been really strong.
There are 2 drivers drivers, Krista, that love going to Las Vegas. That's because it's their hometown. We're talking about Kurt Busch and Kyle Busch. Kyle leading the points, his big brother right behind him in the standings as we get set for race 3. They must be ecstatic about this homecoming.
You know, and it's busy for them here. I mean, when they're here, they visit family. Kurt Busch had his go-kart event last night. He said it was a huge success. But Kurt said here in practice, they've been struggling. And again, getting through those bumps. They haven't been able to figure it out. Kyle's car, much better. He qualified well. But, you know, they always love coming back to this track. And Kurt said for him, it is definitely on the list of top 5 tracks where he wants to win. Kyle has won here. Kurt has not. Kurt has started well here, but he hasn't finished well, especially the last 4 years. No better finish than 23rd. The last 4 years. He ranks this one very high on his list.
One more question in regard to last week. Any fallout from what happened between Kenseth and Vickers that started the big one in Phoenix?
Yeah, you know, in Phoenix, that was a hot topic. Vickers, I talked to him after the wreck, and he talked about how he was going to offer up payback to Matt Kenseth. But then after watching the video, it really didn't look like Kenseth was the one at fault in that incident. So talking to Matt, he said he was really surprised that he didn't receive a phone call or a text from Brian this week, figuring that after Brian took another look at it, he would understand that he maybe shouldn't have said that. Matt did not receive a phone call or a text, at least not before getting here to Vegas. So for Matt, it's pretty much a done deal because he doesn't really feel like there's anything he needs to do. So we'll have to wait and see if anything is taken out on the track. I don't think so, though. I think this is all going to be a wash.
If Vickers is going to get him, he's going to have to catch him because Kenseth is starting on the pole on Sunday. Krista, we look forward to seeing you NASCAR on Fox Sunday afternoon.
Sounds good. That's where I'll be.
Thanks, Krista. And now breaking news from the IZOD IndyCar Series. Firestone making the announcement today they are done supplying tires following the 2011 season. Robin Miller now joins us live on the phone from Indianapolis. Robin, we all knew this was a possibility, but are you surprised it happened so soon?
No, Adam, I think they wanted to announce it a few weeks ago, to be honest, and I think Randy Bernard and Terry Angstad made a couple trips to Nashville, and Al Spire was trying like hell to save it. But it was just the kind of thing where, I mean, I talked to Al this afternoon, and I think basically, you know, they got out of Formula One a few years ago, and we all kind of figured, well, you know, IndyCar will probably be next. They had a 21-year run, which was unparalleled.